Hello, everybody. Rick Malero here with his Capital. And today I'm so excited because we're doing a mastermind live with a bunch of awesome partners. And I'm actually with one of my passive investor groups here. And this is Nia and Louise. Say hello.
Hi,
everyone.
nice to meet you.
And so, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me in this mastermind. And what I'm really excited about is the fact that you guys are going from just being my passive investors to now expanding out and leveraging the micro banking method to be able to accomplish that. And so, really excited that you guys are part of this vision. Now, obviously, we're dealing with a lot of investors that we talk to that are looking for funding. They're from all aspects of life in different areas in the United States. But before we get into the actual business itself, I think one of the things that I love about what we do is in our partnerships, we align with people that have the same type of vision, right? And so we're a purpose-driven company. We believe in investing with a purpose. And what I love about you guys as a dynamic couple is that you guys actually do live with purpose. And so maybe why don't we just start talking a little bit about kind of your why? How did you decide ultimately and what drives you that moved you from where you are to now being a lender that's going to go out to the marketplace?
Yeah, Nia says that it's my sales pitch from when we met. I told her, when I was 8, I knew I wanted to be a Marine, and when I was 12, I knew I wanted to be a business owner.
Mm,
And I achieved being a Marine. That part, I guess, was less complicated for me.
hoorah.
Yeah, yeah. And I put in my time to that, and I transitioned out. Started 2 businesses. It failed. And a lot of that just came from just a place of anger. So I'm born Dominican. I was born in the Dominican Republic,
Okay.
raised in the Bronx. Um, you know, Government assistance on and off, throughout my childhood. So when I looked at a business, it was for me to be wealthy, to, you know, right the wrongs of my
Hmm.
childhood, from a financial standpoint. And what's changed so much now with being with Nia, I'm very much a bull, in a china shop, just and when I
She
wear
said yes.
things,
She's like, it's confirmed, everyone. It's confirmed.
I very aggressively pursue my ambitions, but she evens me out, because she's a lot more risk averse, so she'll throttle me
Bring it
back.
back.
And then, just now we're parents, and that
Mm,
completely changed the dynamic as to why I want to build a business.
mm,
Now it isn't about me being wealthy. It's about building something so that in 15, 20 years, when my boys are older, I can actually turn to them and go, hey, do you want this? You can inherit it, or we can sell it, and you can have, a life that you want. But in any case, what we want to build is just something where I am the last in my line that it will have had to suffer the injustices that I did.
mm,
And uh, it's, I guess, legacy.
mm.
So if that's
That's powerful. That's really powerful. Actually, I want to get to you in a second. I'm going to ask you a question, but it's a point that is just something that's happened in my life. I didn't have a father when I grew up. There's a lot of things that obviously can hold us back, or they can become fuel.
Yeah.
One of the terms that now my kids, as you guys start hanging out with them, but you'll see, whenever we find an area or a struggle or something that seems to be like a bad habit that we're repeating, I always tell my kids it ends with me.
Mhm.
And that's the trigger. So I've actually heard my 10-year-old son do something that was out of character that we've been teaching him with his identity. And I've literally heard him say, it ends with me. And that's such a powerful piece. And even what you just talked about, your whys, understanding that you, before you were doing business for yourself, but now you have a much bigger purpose and it's your family, it's a legacy, it's something that's going to be much greater than you. And so that really helps to channel you. Now, not to mention the fact that now you're no longer the bull in the china shop because you have a beautiful wife that now is holding you accountable and slowing you down. So
Yeah.
speaking of that, talk a little bit about kind of your purpose, your why behind this.
Being parents just, I think, really fueled the fire of who we are and setting an example,
Mm,
of really legacy, of really making a difference in the world. We've both had the opportunities to serving a Marine as 20 years, and fighting for your country. And then myself, everything that I've done has been very purpose driven with working in international development all over the world, in Latin America and in Africa, and in education. So, you know, it really has been about making a difference and seeing lives change. And by working with you and having that purpose driven, everything you do is for a greater good.
mm,
And that really resonates because we're able to not only build that purpose more within ourselves, but show that to our children
Mm,
because they do have a lot, they could, we just went to Disneyland, we're Disney World, and not many people have that opportunity, but to
mhm,
see we do things for the greater good. We do things to make a difference,
mm,
to really live out what we're meant to be.
I love
And
that.
I love that we can do that with you.
Thank you. Well, and that's the beauty, right? It's this collaboration that of like-minded individuals, and we're hoping you investors watching, if you're looking for a partner, somebody that can fund you, that actually has a heart for something greater than just making money, then I think you found an amazing dynamic couple. And if something goes south, you got a Marine there that's got your six. Just saying, that's an extra bonus, right?
Yeah.
So now going into the business side real quick, just as we pivot, because I know we could end today and somebody got some amazing nuggets because of how incredible you guys are. That was awesome.
Thank you.
But when it comes to the investment side, so I know that we have a lot of different high net worth guys in this group. Some have very niche focuses, right? And so I guess if you want to tell an investor that's considering a private lender for themselves, what type of deals do you like to finance?
Well, I I have an affinity for people that treat their investments as a business. So,
Mhm,
if regardless of where they are in their life cycle, I'll meet them so long
mhm,
as, I think one of the best parts of having been a Marine and been an officer is I've loved how you get a Marine, they're absolutely clueless at the very beginning,
mhm,
and but they have that drive and that desire to do things right and looking for that framework, and then to see them 3 years after just be that much better and that much stronger. Um, I was always kind of detached from being an officer, but it always felt good that I was somehow involved
mhm,
in creating the structure that allowed that to happen. So that's I guess the type of individual that I'm looking for is somebody that approaches their investment as a business.
mhm,
As far as specific which deals, I mean, I'm open to more, people that are looking to rehab, but also to kind of hold,
mhm.
I'm somebody that turns a lot. Sure, that's love to help that person too, but somebody that wants to build something.
I love that.
That's my
That's great.
ideal client.
Ideal client. Pay
Yeah,
attention now.
yeah.
How about yourself? Do you have any like specifics, or do you agree with him, or?
I definitely agree with him. I think for me too, it is about having a vision of something more than themselves. So working and being a mom too. I mean, I love working with other women, who are trying to make their lives better for their children. So,
Mhm,
I mean, we're involved in different women investor groups. So for me, it's about helping moms, helping women really achieve their legacy with their kids and beyond. So I'm definitely looking to help all people, and also just build that vision on whether it's fix and flips in our area, in Washington, D.C. area. There's always so much construction going
mhm.
on, a lot of different development. So ground up construction would be another big area
That's
for us.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Which I guess it leads perfectly into like the next question I was going to say, like, is there like a location you're primarily focused on? Is it just where you're at, or do you maybe go to other states just so, for any investor considering this?
Yeah, so I'd say, for sake of us and getting to know people and meeting people, what's easiest for us would be the greater Baltimore area. There's
Okay.
a lot of activity and a lot of growth happening there.
Hmm.
But we're also open to anything really in the Mid-Atlantic or East Coast.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that's good to
Mhm.
know. Okay, so you're flexible, but primarily in your marketplace,
Yeah,
which is good. That's awesome. Now, I am going to ask you a question because I know you guys a little bit more, right? So
yeah,
I got a little intel that I think investors or even potentially referral partners would want. I know we've had some dialogue in masterminds, and some of the things that you guys have talked about is, especially you have this process-driven
Yeah.
mind, right? It's a gift. Honestly, I'm terrible.
You.
I'm terrible at that stuff. That's why I have a good team,
yeah.
right? So I have a process-driven mind. As far as you as well, Lewis, basically from your model, you are a Marine, so you understand what it means to follow a process and till you perfect it. And so I know that a lot of real estate investors, I know from the millions of dollars that we've done, sometimes on a weekly basis, and when we connect with some of these investors to guide them, some of their hiccups are the fact that they got the vision, they want to do something, and they're drivers, they'll go push. But when it comes to scaling the business, they can't because they don't have the processes and procedures in place to be able to scale. So the reason why I bring that up is I know you guys are strong. So when it comes to this, an investor that maybe even potentially is struggling at it, but is looking not just for somebody to lend them money, but somebody to help them to really create a process for their business. Could you talk a little bit about that and how you're able to provide more than just money, but also your skill sets that can help them to become better in business and life?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for that, I'm a professional project manager. That's my certification. That's been my career up until doing this lending. So a lot of what I do, and I still consult for project management. So my strengths are systems and analysis, and I'm within the IT realm. So understanding how to architect a system so that it scales and can support an organization, that's really what I do. That's my skill set. So looking at um, you know, people think processes, right? That for me, that's at the junior level.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to usually the programs that I'm managing, you're looking now at really what it's systems, which is the outputs of processes as inputs to other processes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's where I kind of shine is, I've done continuous process improvement and looking at a system and saying, okay, how can this be better? How can we cut out, a couple seconds or a couple minutes and just clean up the process? And a lot of that comes into designing. So sit down with the business owner or sit down with the business office that I'm consulting with, understanding what their workflows are, why they're trying to do that, and then just trying to digitize that usually is what I do. But building a system around that and then having them follow that process. So
Mm-hmm.
it's something I find very fun. I wouldn't call it a passion, but I do very much enjoy things systematically and
Mm-hmm.
that all business. That's all it is. It's just a collection of systems.
And so he's the systematic, the architect, and I'm the one who is, okay, well, let's document. How do you do that? What are the steps? Okay, what are types of tools or documents that you use for each of the steps? Because if you want to grow your business and scale, that needs to be documented to where anyone, anybody you bring in could easily understand that system and pick it up with little. I mean, definitely need to do coaching and capacity building, but with less than you normally would because you have everything structured, detailed by detailed. It's in the system, it's documented, and then you as a coach help build that on the job experience.
You're hired. Oh, I forgot. We're having an
Whoops.
interview. No, this is awesome because think about it. When you're dealing with a real estate investor who's wanting to grow, but they don't actually go back to the foundation and actually create the systems to be able to grow, they don't even know if they're being successful or not in some
Yeah.
cases, right? It's like this chaos in the air, and then you're financing a mess.
Yeah.
And so I think what really separates you guys, and I love that about you, is if an investor comes to you and says, look, I'd like to work with you and I want to do repeat business with you, you can mentor them and help them to perfect their systems, which is invaluable if you think about
Yeah.
it, right? And so that's a powerful advantage. Man, we could be here for like 30 more minutes just talking about that. So now going and shifting to the next part that I really think is essential, obviously, you guys are dynamic. You have a lot of experience that you bring to the table, and then you have some capital, right? Which is great. So thank God for that, right? But I think one of the benefits that I think for investors is when a client is looking for funding, they want reliability, they want liquidity, and so one of the negative things about working with a private investor is that they have a limitation, right? They only have so much money. So once you build a partnership with that person, but you need the next funding and they are out of money right now, then you have to wait till they get a payoff. So it kind of creates friction in that relationship. So obviously, as we partnered through the microbanking method, which I'm honored again that you guys are a part of, I think that really takes you to the next level. Now, for those that are watching, whether you're a referral partner, investor, or whatnot, and you don't even know what the microbanking method is, let me just kind of define it. So the microbanking method is a system that we put together that has literally allowed us to do over $500 million in transactions. And what it allows us to do is, as individual high net worth investors, it gives us the opportunity to take our money, invest it in somebody who's got a really good project, but then we leverage the banking model. And the banking model of how the banks do business is they finance millions of dollars and then they turn around and sell the paper and they have their money to do it again and again and again. So now you guys will have a couple $1,000,000 that can turn into $20 million within the course of a year, giving you the firepower that you need, no pun intended there, soldier, to really make a difference in the lives of your clients. And so I know I just explained it, but obviously maybe there's some additional tools and resources you can elaborate on so that an investor considering you recognizes that you have so much more than just a couple million bucks.
Yeah, no, and a lot of that we have to thank you, Rick. You know, I mean, you've developed this system that is works so fluidly. You know, where it's and I love your symbol with the infinity sign. You know, which is there's this flow where yes, we fund these deals, but there's already a mechanism to kind of free up that money again and have it keep working for us. You know, it's my undergrad's in economics, so I geek out over this stuff. So it's like
You geek
it's
out.
like
Me too. I
it's
geek out on that. It's great.
like, it's the velocity of money, right? It's
Yes.
just money turning over and not sitting still. I mean, capitalism is all about not allowing money to sit, and money that sits still rots, right? It's
So good. So good.
and you've developed a system that allows us to make use of that and
Mm.
have that money turn over, and not just make the investors that are participating and using that money to get wealthy, but for us to also be able to not be completely dependent on and broke after lending the money out, but also have people down the line
Yeah,
that are also benefiting from just all this economic activity that
I love that.
you're pretty much creating.
I love that. So just for the record, that if you heard that, it's true. Rich people get broke quick when they invest their money. It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on some of the tools that obviously allow you to be able to really help other investors, other than obviously you have, like you said, there's a flow of cash, so it's always available to help people.
I think the biggest tool is us. I mean, we want to help you, and we all have our goals and our dreams and our whys for certain reasons, and we want to help you achieve those goals. And with Rick and with other partners, as well as really the sky's the limit. With just this unlimited flow of resources, of capital, of love, we want to work with you to achieve your goals.
That is awesome.
And
Guys,
Rick,
you just dropped that mic after saying that.
yeah.
Go ahead, Louis, you were saying.
No, I mean, like, I kind of thought on the relationship aspect of your question, but and what you've built, but there's also the tangible things that you've built, which are the electronic infrastructure that you've provided us to be able to manage those deals and make sure that nothing falls through the cracks, and make sure that all our clients are know where their opportunities are in the whole funding life cycle. So I mean, I think those are it's great to have the drive, the passion, but it goes back to systems, right?
Yeah.
It's like what systems do you have, and we're thankful for what you've been able to create for us to be able to use from a tangible standpoint to manage
Thank you.
those opportunities.
I'm excited that you're excited.
Yeah.
I love it. It's been years in the making.
Yeah.
So I guess as we wrap this up, if we're dealing with a potential investor here right now that's watched this, and I'm sure they're like super excited, or potentially another agent, referral partner that might want to refer clients to you, right? Or maybe at some point they want to be mentored so they can become the investor. So how do they reach you? What is your company name? What is your website? I'm sure we're going to put it on the description, but still, just share it with us.
Yeah, so our company name is Antonine Capital. That's Antonine. Antonine Capital. It's named after I named my two boys after the last two great emperors of Rome. They were the
Wow.
Antonines, so that's the company name, Antonine
Bro.
Capital. Yeah,
You're deep, man. Every time we get closer, I'm like going deeper and deeper. That's so good.
yeah. But yeah, that'd be the easiest way to get a hold of us. Our email will be on that, and just I work great off of email and text, so just shoot me an email and I'll get back to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, same here. Email, text, call. I love, talking with people. So
That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much. You had such a great time. You guys are incredible people. And if you're an investor, and again, you're looking for a reliable partner that knows systems that can help you to really take your business to the next level, check them out. Till the next time, take care.
thank you.
Thank you.